These are some of the headlines we've had so far regarding the Fulani Herdsmen attack in Nigeria. Everybody really wants to know, what has the Nigerian government done about this issue that has been terrorizing Nigerians for so many years? So today we are digging deep into a crisis you rarely see in global headlines, not even global headlines, even in the Nigerian headlines. The wave of deadly herdsmen attack turning Nigeria's fertile Benue State into a war zone. Grab a seat. This is a story of land, livestock, and lives hanging in the balance. Benue is called Nigeria's food basket. One should wonder, it should be peaceful, right? But for the past decade, armed cattle herders, mostly Fulani, though not exclusively, have clashed with indigenous farmers over land and water. Add climate change, population growth, and a flood of illegal firearms, and you get a perfect storm. Historically, herders followed mapped grazing corridors. Over time, desertification in the north pushed them to the south. Grazing reserves collapsed, routes were blocked by new farmers, and local conflict resolution systems broke down. What used to be stick fights turned into gunfights. Now, once AK-47s entered into the picture, a dispute over a cow eating maize became a massacre. There are a lot of timeline of events, but these are some of the most popular ones. So between February 28th and March 3rd, 2016, we've got the Agatu genocide. I'm sorry for the pronunciation. Hundreds were slaughtered, villages were erased, and the official count says up to 500 people died. There are some articles and some news outlets that says that more than 500 people died instead. The next one on the list, in no order at all, we've got the New Year's Day massacre, which happened on January 1st, 2018. At least 73 people died in that massacre, and we've got another one in St. Ignatius Church, which happened in the same year, April 24, where 2 priests died and about 16, some news outlets say 16, some say 17, were killed. Still, the church was burned, and this also intensified the religious war that was happening in Nigeria. Another one was in June 6, 2021, still in Agatu, where 40 mourners were shot. It was a funeral ambush, remember? So they came for a funeral, but 40 of them were shot. A part of the village was burnt as well. We've got another timeline in between the April 3rd and April 5th, 2023 in the villages of Ikobi and Umogidi, I'm sorry for the pronunciation again, where more than 98 people died across 2 local governments, and even the chairman's son was killed in this massacre. We've got another occasion in April 7th, 2023, where a lot of people died as well. Now let's fast forward to this year, April 19th, 2025, in Logo and Guma villages, where more than 56 people were killed overnight, and a lot of things have been happening. Still in May, which was just last month, between May 24th and May 26th, many people died again, 42 deaths. In fact, there were a lot of toddlers amongst the victims, and in fact, the priest was interviewed from the hospital bed. I'm not even going to show the clips because they are just too disturbing, but the most disturbing of them all has been, I wouldn't say is the most disturbing, but the reason we take it as the most disturbing is the one that happened just few days ago in Yelewata, which let's call it the Yelewata Inferno. The reason why this one is particularly disturbing and gruesome was because VDM, Very Dark Man, went there in person and showed videos of children burnt. Now, we don't know if these children were burnt alive or they were dead before they were burnt. I don't know, but because I am a mom myself, this compelled me to speak on the issue. A lot of children were burnt. Now, news outlet says that 59 people at least died, but witnesses say over 100 people, even up to 200 people died.
And we are here because we are grieved. A lot of killings have been happening in this state, and then our leaders, let me say the number one citizen of the state, has remained close-mouthed. Mr. President has not spoken about the killings in Benue State, and we know that the primary responsibility of a government is security.
It should be noted that the Pope himself, the new Pope, spoke about the killings of Benue State ahead of the Nigerian president himself. Let us say, Ken, if that doesn't tell you the kind of states or how low Nigeria has fallen, then I don't know what to tell you.
Of lives and properties. And this primary aim, if not achieved, any other aim is secondary aim. And when the primary aim of somebody is being defeated, that means the person is a failure. At this point in time, the Benue youth will have come out in our masses to say this administration has failed us. Our people cannot go back to their farms. Our people cannot go back to their ancestral homes. And these farms are the places where they farm, they labor to feed us, to train us in schools. And we are here today because our people cannot go back to labor for our younger ones. So where are we running to? We've been running from our ancestral home to Makodi. Coming to Makodi, people have been running again from Agan to Yelewata to this place. And the Makodi itself is not safe. The other day it was not back here. Where are we running to? We continue running from these headers. And our leaders, our governor has remained close-mouthed. We are calling on them that if they cannot do it for us, they should quietly resign and tell us that this responsibility has become a burden to them and they can no longer tolerate, they can no longer condole it because their capacity has not reached to it. At this point in time, we are calling all the relevant security authorities to come on board to see how they can curtail this thing. Your name. I remain Comrade Ali Joshua David. Thank you.
Now, it is pertinent to note that over 600,000 residents have fled their homes since 2016. Farmers have abandoned their fields. Food prices have drastically climbed, not because there are no farms to cultivate these foods, but because people are afraid to go to their farms. People are very, very scared. Kids have been growing up in tents and not villages. In fact, let's even leave cities now. You're saying that people should go back to the villages to go farm, but they can't even go back to their villages. They are growing up in tents. Amidst the trauma, many victims says that justice never comes. Personally, I don't think I've even heard or I've ever heard about any of these herdsmen being caught and brought to justice. If you've heard, please point me to the direction. I have personally not heard of any.
I am protesting because right now we are standing on the dead bodies of our mothers, our fathers, our brothers and sisters. We have become IDPs in our own very country. These killings have persisted for years. A lot of talks have gone on. Only last year, 500,182 people were displaced. We have 21 IDP cars in Benue. These killings won't stop. Up until this moment, nothing is being done. Why? What is more crazy is the deafening silence from our leaders, the duty bearers, the people who are supposed to speak, the people who are supposed to do something.
This is my problem. Like, this is so heartbreaking. I'm trying to remain as neutral as possible. But in a sane country, if, in fact, something like this, the governor of that state should have resigned. In a same country, a country where a state where a terrorist attack, because let's call it what it is, Fulani herdsmen at this point, they are terrorists, or not all of them, some of them, but in a state where Months after months, year after year, people are being killed and massacred in your state. You should resign. But what should I even say? In the next election, he's probably going to contest. He's going to give 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira to some of these people. And trust me, he's still going to be voted in again. So Nigerians' issue is just tiring. I don't even know what to say. Look at what happened in India, the plane crash. The president himself went to the place where it happened. But what is Tinubu doing? He's releasing tweets. They are silent. Now we want answers. We want to know what is going on. The government has a duty to protect life and properties. If President Tinubu is overwhelmed by this insecurity in North Central, in Benue, in Plateau, in Taraba, he should step aside. He should resign. They should stop playing politics with human lives. President Tinubu understands what democracy means. We need to stay alive. We want to just live. Right now, we are pleading for our lives. Look at what is happening. Look at the humanitarian situation in the state. Look at how it's affecting economy. Yesterday, I saw people being maltreated, women and children crying by the roadside because they've had to flee from their communities. A woman woke up in this community. Her children, 5 children and mother were lynched.
Yesterday.
This is so heartbreaking in many aspects. Now, state anti-grazing law exists, but enforcement is weak. Proposed ranching funds vanishes. Arrests are rare, like I stated initially. Locals fear bias, while herders feel scapegoated. The thing is that solutions are complex but real. Secure ranching with title deeds, restoring nothing grazing reserves, early warning systems, and courts that jail killers, not victims. The reason I say court jail victims is because recently a man who was actually defending himself, who was stabbed in his farm by an herdsman and eventually killed the herdsman in self-defense, was sentenced to death by hanging. Yes, I know it's shocking. Like, as I'm even telling the story, I'm shaking from the anger, but I'm just trying to be as calm as possible. Yes, this man was sentenced to death by hanging. Even if himself was stabbed by the herdsman, he was attacked. He was minding his business. He was attacked and he was stabbed. But instead, he's the one that's been sentenced to death.
For a number of years here in Nigeria on human rights issues, and this is a sad day, Charles, for human rights in Nigeria. Sunday Jackson, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm a human rights advocate. Sunday Jackson, by anyone's estimation, is totally innocent. And the issue where this man was out farming, minding his own business, and then the attacker came and a struggle ensued. And of course, this man is going to defend himself. That's why we call it self-defense. And yet today, we were at the Nigerian Supreme Court, and it was very brief. It was only about maybe 2 minutes long, and we just wept at the failure of the Nigerian Supreme Court to say that this man, and they had the opportunity to say this man was totally innocent. We haven't seen all the ins and outs of the decision, but we had the opportunity to meet this humble farmer, this young man who unfortunately his wife abandoned him, had been on death row for 10 years. So Sunday Jackson is now.
Is this not a way of the Nigerian government to say that people have no right to defend themselves against herders? I mean, if defending yourself will get you a death sentence, then I believe the Nigerian government are trying to say the herdsmen have the right to kill you, have the right to attack you, and you have no right to defend yourself, because if you defend yourself, then we're going to come for you. Because that's the message I believe the government is passing with this sentence.
The governor has already given us all the necessary support, all the logistics, every support we need. And we are not going to disappoint anybody. Just be patient. what you see happening in Yelewata yesterday is because we have taken over because we are taking over West, because we are already pushing in Agatu. So when they were escaping, they just want to do something that they will seem that they are in control, but they are not in control.
Now, my own take is that why can't the Nigerian government declare a state of emergency in Benue State? That's number one. And number two, why can't they declare the Fulani herdsmen? I know not all of them are terrorists, but why can't they declare them a terrorist organization? Because Boko Haram, I don't even see the difference between them and the Boko Haram at this point. Like, I mean, I want to know, this is a video of a lady who herself, her 5 children, and her mom were burnt to ashes during the attack. This video of VDM, I'm just going to play the intro. I'm not playing it. It's so disturbing. I myself, I couldn't finish watching it. I'm just going to play the first maybe 1 minute of the video.
So I am live in Yelewata in Benue State, where the attack took place yesterday that claimed the lives of over 200 persons. The Herdsmen attack. Now, what my eyes have seen, my mouth cannot speak unless you will see it by yourself. So please follow me with the camera. Now, if you notice something, you can see the smoke still coming out.
I will just leave this picture here. I'm not going to say what it is, but if you're following VDM, you definitely know what these images are. That's the only thing I will say. I'm not even gonna go in depth into it, but it is funny how the Nigerian government are always quick. In fact, Tinubu himself sent a message to the Indian government regarding what happened, but was silent for so many hours regarding what is going on in his own state. I don't even want to talk further on this topic because it's very triggering and it's very sensitive, and it took me a lot to even decide to make this video. But if you found this story important, please share it for awareness. Pressure matters. Everybody needs to put pressure on the government. It's either they do the right thing or they resign. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that more underreported stories can reach you. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye.